Linda and Judy from Two Moms on the Loose for another episode of a topical um, story that hopefully some of you will be interested in. Anyway, so this coming Monday, it's the first Monday in May, and it's the Met Gala here in New York City. So, for those of you who do not know, it's the Oscars of the East. That's what they refer to it. And Anna Wintour, the former editor of Vogue, is responsible for the guest list, right? And for the most part, so the controversy around this year's Met Gala is that Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez Bezos are the co-honorary chairs of this week's Met Gala. And, everybody hates them. Okay. And there's been a lot of, how shall I say? I don't know if you have this photo, people putting up like, boycott the Met Gala. And so here's my take on this whole thing. So the Met Gala has been around, so excuse me while I read some data here. Started in 1948. The ticket was $50 back in the day. And it sort of evolved over time in that Diana Vreeland, who was a Vogue editor, was in charge of it. Then the socialites took over, I don't know, in the 80s and the 90s. Um, your Blaine Trumps, your Pat Buckleys, that whole ilk. And then one day, Anna Wintour took it over in the mid 90s and really made it what it is today. And it's just gotten bigger and bigger. And so, just a little fun fact on the tickets because people just freaked out about the tickets. So, talk about inflation. The ticket price in 2009 was $7,500. It jumped to $25,000 in 2014. 2016 jumped to 30, and this year it's probably going to be $75,000 a ticket. So let me just explain, just in case you don't know how this works. These people are not paying $75,000. The brand is paying that money. They're buying a table because they're wearing whatever they're wearing, Prada, Gucci. They're paying for their dress and the ticket. And it is a fundraiser for the Costume Institute. That was the purpose of this whole thing. And people, boycott the Met Gala. I don't know how they're boycotting it. They're not getting invited. So I'm not quite sure. What are you boycotting again? And so here's my thing about Sanchez Bezos. Bezos was actually an honorary chairman back in 2012 because Amazon was the sponsor. So there is a sponsor for every year. One year it was Armani, one year is Saint Laurent, one was Instagram. A few years ago it was Yahoo. And you know why? Tell you why. Marissa Mayer was the CEO of Yahoo, and she was this like little fashionista tech chick. And I'm sure she was like, I want to go to the Met Gala. So Yahoo sponsored it, and she was one of those honorary chairmen. These people don't do anything. They do nothing. If you know anybody who's ever run a charity or done a fundraiser, they're raising money, they're, doing the tables, they're picking out the food. These two characters are doing nothing. They're just going to go have their picture taken and call it a day. And I, from my opinion, I really don't care. I mean, people get so upset about them. And, you can be miserable about it, but it just seems as though the whole boycott the Met Gala and everybody's going to be like looking at who's going and why are they going because, the Bezos are going. And so I just don't, I can't get excited or angry at this whole thing because I like to look at who's going. I like to see what they're wearing. Um, I don't even know what this year's theme is. Every year I'm like, what's the theme again? Are we even going with the theme? Last year was the dandy, fashion dandy. It was like very black oriented. So they had all of these like actors and singers, and they all came, they got the assignment. I don't even know what's going to happen. All I know is Miss Sanchez is definitely going to be showing cleavage. That's all I know that's going to be happening. So, what are
Um,
your thoughts on this year's Met
well,
Gala?
it's interesting. Let's talk about the positive first. Laura Sanchez is looking really buff there. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, this woman, I mean,
What was
both
this?
of them,
Yeah.
and he's keeping his bald head nice and shiny. So they're
He's
both,
definitely had work done.
yes, they both have had a lot of work done. Um, you know, too, I mean, I've heard, been reading and watching a lot about it. I mean, I don't think it has the pizzazz that it once did. I mean, I think like when you see Kim Kardashian and
Yeah,
you
or
know,
whomever there's
yeah,
always four
there.
of
I mean,
them.
people
Yeah.
are kind of over it. I think the theme this year is fashion is art or art is
Yeah.
fashion or something like that. I mean, the outfits get pretty outrageous. There's
Yeah.
Rihanna
Rihanna.
from a
Yep.
previous
Yes.
year.
Yep.
I mean, I feel like it is like people really do try to upstage one another.
Yep. They do.
Anna Winter still has tight control over it. You're not allowed to take phones in there, which
Yep. I
I think
know.
is crazy. People must be going besides themselves if they don't have access to.
Occasionally somebody sneaks one in and she is not happy. And
Yeah,
then I think a few years ago, you're not allowed to smoke in there either. And there's always some idiot that insists on smoking. And you're like, you're not supposed to be smoking in general. It's a museum with valuable art pieces. Like what? And they all live in their own little world where they're like, I'm special and you're not. Oh, see
right.
Rihanna. See, I mean, there's some things like this. I don't even know
Yeah.
what the theme was. Like
No,
it
that was
stands
from a
out,
few
you
years
know?
ago. But I was one of the things I was reading about is so there's the steps going up into the Met.
Yes.
And so Rihanna, like everyone's
Which we can
excited.
all go to. If you go to the Met, you can walk up those same
Those
stairs. They're just
steps.
not red carpet.
And then they say if you're like a no one and you're going, it's
Yeah,
kind of depressing because no, you have to walk up and no one cares.
yeah. And you paid money for that
Yeah,
ticket.
you paid money for that ticket. It really, again, as I said this before, I feel like in New York, it's always the haves and haves nots,
Yeah,
and you can just be a lowly, whatever, and you still not rub elbows, but you're crossing paths with extreme wealth in this
yeah.
city. And I think this is what this kind of shows here. I
I
mean,
know. Well, I think
yeah,
that also the other thing too is I don't think people realize this if you don't live in New York City. The Met Gala is what they know because it's the
yeah,
most famous. There's a fundraiser for
I
everything.
know.
Every um museum has a fundraiser. Every nonprofit has a fundraiser. The Ford Foundation has a run. The Rockefeller Foundation. All the hospitals have fundraisers. And you know who runs those things? The socialites or the wealthy, wife of whomever. And they're all coming in their haute couture dresses or wherever, like, get their dresses from nowadays. So this goes on. All you have to
All
do
the
is look at the
time.
Sunday Times or Town and Country. Yeah, so this is not, and you're right about the haves and have-nots. Every so often, I can't remember, like years ago, I can't remember who it was, like she decided to join the junior league. I'm like, I can't afford to go to the junior league. I don't have $1,000 for that
Right,
seat. I was like, but it wasn't even $1,000. I had to like buy something to go, and I was like, okay. And there's tons of them,
right,
and so I just know that, if the thing is, I never see any socialites that go to this. I'm sure there's probably somebody that goes, but I just like people, there are other fundraisers going on, and there are fundraisers everywhere. In Cincinnati, I'm sure that there's a fundraiser for the children's hospital. There's a fundraiser
yeah.
there.
There's always fun.
There's
This is
always
like,
fundraisers. This is just like the it's up here because it's in the news. All the entertainment shows will show you the year, again, all the fashion influencers are going to go like, oh my God, these are my favorites, or these, I can't believe they wore this. And it's just not, it's like another, like, it's like the Oscars or the Golden Globes. It just happens to be all
yeah. This is
it's the
like
same people,
fundraising.
right?
Yeah, fundraising on steroids. That's what I
Yes,
would put it.
exactly.
And the outfits
And
are
yeah,
extreme. Remember when Kim
yeah.
Kardashian wore Marilyn Monroe's?
Mama's dress, yes.
Yeah, and
And
then yeah,
I
like
mean, I always wonder what would happen if Anna said, No more Kardashian Jenners. What truly would happen? And she just stuck to because she's in these influencers who I don't even know. They're starting to show up, right? At these, you're like, who are but because again, the whole purpose is to raise money for the Costume Institute. And all these people who watch this, they're not writing checks. So I ask myself, okay, what is the I, I don't know. I'm like fascinated by this. Oh
Well,
yeah,
like
here's Blake Lively. I'm trying to
yeah,
remember off
there's
the top
Blake
again, but yeah,
Lively,
yeah,
and, like, Mandani and his wife aren't going this year, like, they're
I know.
boycotting. It's kind of been
Yes.
whispered that, Meryl Streep too, because the
Uh,
Bezos and, people don't
I
approve of
don't,
yeah.
yeah, I don't know. Like people are like, people online are just lose their minds. Like, if I was invited, I wouldn't go. And I'm like, what are you talking about? It's one black tie event amongst many. And I'm like, I am not going to boycott or cancel stars who go to this. I'm just like, somebody paid for their dress, somebody paid for their suit. It goes to the Costume Institute. I'm like, so be it. I'm just because Basil, I mean, you could lose your mind. I mean, I'm pretty sure there'll probably be other idiots that go that I probably hate more than I don't even hate them. I'm like, they're, clueless billionaires doing whatever the heck they're doing, living their best life. Okay, fine.
So I just have, like, so many logistic questions, like this. Now, does Blake Lively take that train off when she gets to the top of the steps? I can't believe
Yes and no. I don't know.
I
That's a
don't
good
think she would
question.
walk around all evening with that, would she?
I I don't know. I don't because there are no you don't see pictures of them once they go up those stairs and into the Temple of
Yeah.
Dendur, there's rare because again, they're not allowed their phones. Um and occasionally you will see some pictures. Like there's always like a musical guest and sometimes you'll see videos or pictures of people dancing, but for the most part, I don't even know how I don't know. I have no idea.
It
I never
has I mean, and I'm sure somewhere that we're not seeing, there's some assistants and makeup people. Now they're
yeah.
not gonna go in with her. Do they stand outside in front of the Met all night and wait for her to co I mean, I just see, this is where my
Well,
head
I'm
goes.
trying to
Yeah.
remember who it was, which actress, maybe it was Lady Gaga or somebody. Because, okay, so they literally, I can't remember, I wish I could remember who it was. They put her in a van. She had to stand in the van because
For the
she
Met
could not
going to the Met Gala?
go into the Met, because whatever she was wearing, she could not sit in it. And then they opened the doors and then she got out and then she walked up the stairs. But I'm like this. I don't know how did she
She
get
has to
there?
take it off when she gets but where did she have a clutch with some makeup? I mean, who's reapplying the makeup in that?
I don't know. Who knows? And like this is the other thing too is they're not going out the same way they came in, right? There's a side
Oh,
entrance that
there is? I didn't even
most
okay.
people don't know. Like you're okay, here's a tip if you're going to the Met. There's a little side door. Don't go up the stairs and like, oh my God, the line is so long. If you go down the other way.
There's
And I
another
know
side
that's
door to get
yeah,
into
there's a
the
side door with no stairs. So I'm sure these people all leave from there. And I'm trying to remember, I think a couple of years ago, Natasha Leone said, yeah, I went, blah, 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 blah. And then I left, whatever. And I got on a bus. Because by that time, the traffic, they sort of slow down the traffic and they block off the traffic in
okay.
front of the Met so they can get out. But the buses start to run at some point. You just get on the Fifth Avenue bus. And I just went home. And I was like,
Yeah, when she
because
comes
you're
out
just waiting for your
yeah.
car. You got to wait for your car. And it's sort of amusing to me. That, yeah, I have no
It
idea. Like
sounds
I
like a
always,
logistical nightmare because
yeah,
the traffic in New York, like, there's limos can't sit out there, uh,
no,
and
they
you don't
just
have a phone. What happens when you come out?
just
Do you try to hail
drive
a
around.
cab or what?
I'm assuming somebody's assistant is waiting for them. But yeah, you're right. Look, where are the assistants? Because the thing is, if you see them, because I think there was a picture you showed of them like running out of the shot.
Yeah,
Somebody is there, an assistant or a stylist is taking, see, like
there.
that guy is
Yeah.
like, let me get out of the photo, let me get out of the photo shot. Um, and like those two people in the back, there's definitely people there to like wait on them, or maybe hold their phone. I don't know. Because yeah, once they go up those stairs, what the heck? For all you know, they just go in and then they leave. You never really see them leave. You only see them going this little
You
part
know,
and then going up the stairs.
it's like when your kid was little and you took them to dance class and all the parents sat in that one area. I'm just wondering if it's the same thing, like, all the assistants are like the parents sitting
Yeah, like
in, like, an
waiting to hear from them.
overflow room waiting for the class to be over, because I just imagine
But where are they? I mean, we've been to the Met. I'm always like, where would they be standing? Where would they go?
listen, I can, think about times, like, I had to take a client to a morning show or something,
Yeah,
and, like, coming out and again, it's like, "Where's the car?" thing, and it
yeah,
being,
yeah.
like, a kind of uncomfortable, sticky issue, like, and the client's, like, pissed off because the car's not right there,
Not
but the car
there. Yeah.
because New York traffic, there's nowhere for the car to park,
Yeah,
and the
they got to
guy
go
can't
round and around and
yeah,
around.
and I've been with clients like, "Oh, should we just call a cab or should we wait for the car?" So, I just can't even imagine the logistics when this thing gets out, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I've also never quite figured out the order in which they arrive, right? It's not like they're
I'm
all
sure it's
arriving at the same
more
time, right?
coordinated than you think. I mean,
Yeah,
they don't
I'm sure.
yeah,
Like,
I mean, you don't want
okay.
Rihanna, like, going first because everything else would be like a
Yeah.
letdown or something.
So I'm actually looking forward to seeing what people are going to be. I actually I do like to see what people are going to wear, and I'm like, what happened? Like I'm always going, what the heck happened here? Who talked you into this?
I always
And
think that.
then some of them you're like, wow, that is pretty amazing to me.
You know what I always think, because, we've had this conversation before, sometimes you see celebrities on the red carpet or wherever, and you think, "Oh my god, like, who talked you into that outfit?"
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not about looking good, it's looking the most extreme that you'll get photographed, you
Yeah,
know what I mean?
exactly. Yep. So true. So true. And at this point, I don't even know if I've even looked at the list of the rumored people who are planning, who've been invited, but I'm not even gonna
Do they
speculate.
at least
I
let
just
you
find out.
is there like an can you at least step out for a cigarette smoke for those
Yeah,
that smoke?
that's a good question. I don't know. That is a very good question.
Because I bet you anything, Kim Kardashian, that dress was so tight, she didn't wanna eat.
I don't even know where they would step out. They literally would have to leave the building. There's no place to smoke in that building. Again, you gonna smoke in front of a $50 million photo? I don't care who they are. The security guard would be like, get the heck out of here. Yeah, I
However,
don't know
I know
where they would be.
years ago, I do know a crazy artist friend of mine who is no longer with us. She did have sex in the Met behind, like, a mummy or something.
Well, that okay, that on the no, that I believe. That I believe. Oh, I know exactly where. I know it's the
Like,
hall.
in
It's
one
the
of those
Egyptian.
Egyptian tomb
It's the
rooms,
Egyptian
yeah,
with all
yeah,
the sarcophagus. Oh,
yeah,
that's not hard to do. Like you go in, you go, yeah, yeah. Trust
yeah,
me. The
yeah,
Temple of Dendur. Yes.
yeah.
Oh, I believe that. Truly, I believe that. 'Cause-
Okay, so next Monday, let's
yes,
see what happens, Linda.
I know. We'll do a recap. So,
Recap.
to our loyal listeners,
3 listeners.
if there's
Well,
anything you would like us to discuss, we're happy to accommodate you because there's a lot going on in New
like
York
I said,
City.
we can give you
That's
the
for
recap.
sure.
Okay, have a great day.
Have a
Okay,
great day, everyone.